Happy day everybody, my name is Jeremy and this is Barbecue Elementary, and today I'll be testing 3 chicken thigh techniques on the Weber Kettle, a wet marinade, dry rub, and both combined to find out which one's best. Let's go! The first thing I needed to do was prepare the marinade. I kept it really simple with a 1/4 cup of my new favorite olive oil. I think you pronounce it grazia. I then followed it up with 2 tablespoons of this mushroom soy sauce that I heard about through Jerby BBQ. Then the juice of an entire yellow lemon. And the juice of an entire tablespoon of honey. 2 cloves of minced garlic with a teaspoon of smoked paprika and a 1/2 teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. Followed by a teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of chili flakes, and a brisk whisk to mix all the ingredients together. And that's really all it takes to make a very simple but delicious chicken marinade. I then snagged these Costco chicken thighs I've had lying around, took them out of the package without spraying the juices everywhere, and as always, gave them a little pat to get them dry. In case you're wondering, I do try and make sure to not make a huge mess when removing meat from vacuum seals, and I always wash my cutting board thoroughly after handling raw meat, including chicken. I also think using paper towels that immediately go in the trash is the most effective way at limiting the spread of dangerous bacteria, as well as ensuring meat is patted dry for meal preparation. I then grabbed 2 of the chicken thighs to marinate. One of these will only be marinated, and the other will receive some dry rub after the marinade just before it hits the grill. That way we can see what happens when we layer the flavors versus keeping it simple. They'll just hang out in these mostly airless bags for the next 3 hours or so before they're ready to get on the grill. That does include the unmarinated thighs, which will have to wait their turn for their roles in this experiment. Honey. After 2.5 hours or so of marinade time, it was time to set up the Weber kettle for some 2-zone cooking. To accomplish that, I'll start off with about a 3/4 full chimney of charcoal. This step will typically take about 20 to 30 minutes to light most of the charcoal, which is usually the perfect amount of time to start the process of dry seasoning most cuts of meat. And although I don't necessarily have anything against you using lighter fluid, the chimney does let you skip it in case you don't like the idea of extra junk getting onto your food. Once the thighs had been in the fridge for a total of 3 hours, it was time to finish the prep. I removed them from the bags to wipe off the excess wet seasoning. You will definitely want to do this with thighs to give the skin a good chance to crisp up instead of stay all rubbery. You'll also notice that I laid them all out skin side down. That's because I'll be cooking them meat side down first, and I want to season the skin side last so it stays looking good and the seasoning stays even. These are the 2 marinated thighs, obviously, one of which will receive the dry rub along with an unmarinated thigh up above it, and this little loner is going to stay completely plain while this one will stay marinade only. For the dry rub, I'm using Jess Pryle's Hardcore Carnivore Red, which I think is an amazing rub. It has crazy color and a bold, smoky, sweet flavor that really pops on chicken. And since the marinade and the dry rub both have paprika and garlic, it should set up a great side-by-side comparison between the rub-only and marinade-only thighs, as well as really ramp up the flavor on the combo thigh with both. Once all of the thighs that were going to be seasoned were fully seasoned, I shaped them into little baby footballs. I've talked about this before, but it is a great way to make sure that your chicken thighs not only look amazing, but also cook evenly and stay juicy throughout. All you have to do is to gently tuck the meat around the bone until you get a nice oval shape. Just make sure to place them on the grill that way, and after a few minutes of cooking, they'll hold that shape on their own and finish looking clean and uniform. After the chicken sat in its seasoning for about 20 minutes, it was time to set up the grill. I mentioned 2-zone cooking earlier, and if you're new to grilling, here's what that means. As you can see, I'm pushing all of my charcoal over to one side of the grill. This side will act like a direct heat zone for over the fire cooking, while the other side stays cooler underneath the grates, more like an oven, where hot air passes over the food and exits through the chimney vents in the lid. This setup is perfect for a cook like this because I'll start the chicken on the cool side, letting it come up gently to around 155 degrees without the risk of burning or overcooking the bottoms. Then I'll move them over to the hot coals at the end to crisp up the skin and finish them off. They took about 30 minutes to all come up to that 155 degree mark, so it was time to move them on over to the coal side. The larger thighs went over the coals meat down to take on a little more heat, while the little ones went skin side down. Make sure not to do what I did and leave them down too long because you'll get a little too much char. You'll really only need to lay them down for about 30 seconds or so on the skin side before they burn. I waited about a minute before they came up to 170 and got a little too much sizzle. I luckily learned my lesson for the bigger thighs and they came out looking way better. But since the cook is over, let's dig into more than just looks to see who comes out on top. I'll be judging in 3 categories today: skin crispiness, flavor of just the chicken, and then the combined bite of the meat and skin. So let's start with skin crispiness. As far as the combined method is concerned, it was a little hard to tell because it was a little burnt, so I decided just to judge between the other two. The marinade only was a little softer, and I could tell it was a little more rubbery than the dry rub thigh, so the first point goes to the dry rub. Now on to the meat itself. I should mention each one was equally moist to my palate, so I'm not really going to comment on that other than saying they were all amazing and not dry at all. But to simply judge the taste and overall impression, I started with the wet marinade, which was good, but overall a much more subtle bite than the dry rub thigh, which was immediately brighter and more flavorful. But the real king of this category, to maybe nobody's surprise, was the combo thigh, which was much more rich, savory, and overall more delicious than the others. To rank them 3-1, I'd have to put the wet marinade chicken last, followed by the dry rub as runner-up, and in first place for taste, the combo thigh. Now, on to the overall bite with skin included. I started with the wet marinade, which had a more difficult bite because the skin was less crispy and willing to come off easily. Then the dry rub, which was amazing and the skin was so crispy and easy to bite through. And lastly, the combo thigh, which was surprisingly the most delicious yet again, even though the skin was a little bit more charred than I'd like. So, for my final thoughts. The combo thigh was definitely the standout, no question, but what really surprised me in this little experiment was how much better the dry rub performed compared to the marinade-only thigh. That tells me one thing. In the future, I'll be way more willing to skip the marinade altogether and go straight for a well-seasoned dry rub. And as always, thanks a million for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't to follow me along on my adventures through Barbecue Elementary.